Songs and Sit-Downs, featuring Owen Dara. And now, Owen Dara.
Thank you so much, and thank you, JJ Shock, for composing that intro music and for that great intro. I always enjoy that every week, puts me in a good mood. Good evening, and welcome to Songs and Sit-Downs. Thank you so much for joining us on this, our 12th show in the series. As always, we're very happy to have you with us. We hope you're doing well and finding positive ways to fill your time, which is what I've been trying to do. During these challenging times. This week, I decided to begin recording a new album. Set up my mic, started Pro Tools, picked up my guitar, and as soon as I pressed record, a lawnmower started up just down the street. So I thought, okay, maybe today's not the day. The next day, took out my mic again, started Pro Tools, and before I could even press record, someone started using a leaf blower just across the street. The day after that, there was the sound of multiple weed whackers. So I say to you, anyone who's watching, if you're unhappy because your neighbor's lawns look unkempt, if you think the people around you have been neglecting their duties in keeping up their curb appeal during this COVID-19 crisis, then all you have to do is invite me over to do some recording at your place. Because, as I've discovered, ladies and gentlemen, the current laws of the universe mandate that as soon as I set my intention of recording absolutely anything at all, everyone around me is going to immediately decide that they have to start up the absolute loudest landscaping machines that they have in their possession. Should I give up trying to record? No, I don't think so. I think I should press on and resign myself to the fact that my entire album is just going to be me singing, accompanied by lawnmowers, weed whackers, and leaf blowers. Maybe a couple of chainsaws. I even have a couple of ideas for the title of the album. It's either going to be called The Landscaping Sessions or How I Killed All My Neighbors with Their Own Friggin' Landscaping Tools. Speaking of neighbors, and the kind that we definitely don't want to kill because they do such a great service to both artists and audiences with all the great shows that they always bring us every week and beyond, let's say a quick hello to our fearless leaders, Dolly and JJ, always working so hard to bring us some of the finest entertainment on the internet. And this is Dolly and JJ.
Hey.
Hi. I thought you were playing with me there. Were you playing with me?
No.
Okay. Because I always have this fear, like I'll say, and this is Dolly and JJ, and then you're like behind the scenes going, let's make him sweat it out. Let's see how long he can improvise over us being cut to. So I said you were neighbors that I didn't want to kill, but I'm not so sure.
You would never.
So I know you've got a beautiful backyard because we used to have the Cool House concerts over there last summer. Have you guys been taking care of that?
Go ahead.
We have a beautiful garden. We have over 50 plants growing in the backyard. We created these tables with all these cloth pots on them, and where all our meals are having fresh eggplant and peppers and tomatoes and lettuce, and
They've gone full on growing our own. We have a mini farm in the back. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be exciting for us to all go over to your place when the apocalypse happens. And this year, I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah.
We'll feed as many as we can.
Well,
So,
we
I'm not worried
appreciate
about
that. Yeah, but don't give out your address to too many people. I know where you live, so I know I'm
Yeah, I
covered,
won't-
even if you don't invite me over.
I
So
won't
what's
say it
going on,
online.
guys? What do we have to say this week?
Well, let's start with, we've been trying to get to at least 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? So that we can monetize on our passion project, because we love promoting other artists and, putting the word out on good stuff going around. So help me out here.
Well, so I suppose if people want to subscribe to our YouTube channels, they can go to
Yes.
youtube.com/Divine Rebel Music and also youtube.com/Owen Dara. And if you subscribe to those, it's greatly appreciated by us. It'll actually help you, our audience, because we won't be asking for tips each week. We'll actually be
That's
paid
right.
by YouTube, and isn't that going to be fantastic?
And I'm going to post both links in the comments. So if everyone, if you don't do it now, if you maybe after the show, if you could jump back in and we'll remind you. But yeah, I'll put them in the comment section to make it easy. All you have to do is click the button and then hit subscribe on both Divine Rebel Music and Owen Dara.
And
So,
we would
we're
appreciate
trying
that
to
very
get
much.
there.
And we should tell you guys that we created this show, Songs and Sit Downs, in part as a means to fill the deficit created by the lack of live work available to artists as a result of COVID-19. As most of you know, we have a very hard-working team, some of whom we can see right now on our screens, and they also happen to be artists themselves, adversely affected by the ongoing closure of music venues, and we don't know how much longer that's going to last, right?
That's right.
And
As you
so,
Yep.
you know, as we always say, and you guys will back me up on this, you know, we really appreciate your being here. And if you so choose, if you have the means, all tips are appreciated and they help support our musical guest, as well as our hard-working team that we can see right there. And thankfully they are hard-working, otherwise we would not have this show. And
right.
of course, if tipping is not within your means, of course, that's fine too. We're just more than happy to have you with us. And we absolutely appreciate your tuning in with us this evening. And so, I think we've covered that. Have we got anything else? Perhaps anything,
Yeah.
any surprises in store?
Yes. And
Really?
it's actually it's JJ's birthday a couple days from now.
What? I knew that.
So, you know, we had some friends, you know, send some birthday messages, some birthday wishes. So we're going to share that right now. Here we go.
Happy birthday, JJ. I know you're still really young.
Not in dog years. In dog years, you're ancient.
Sorry about that. But you also have a really cute little fluffy female puppy. And, I was wondering if, like, maybe if it's okay with you if I could go out with her. I'll be very respectful. Okay. Happy birthday to you.
Bon anniversaire, Jean-Jacques. So that's the 29th to 30th birthday in a row. I've been able to say happy birthday, but I can't give you a hug this time. I do it from afar, and I love you very much.
You say it's your birthday. Happy birthday, JJ. Happy birthday to you.
JJ, big day for you. Here's my greens. Got my beans, got my peppers, all the stuff, all the good stuff we're supposed to eat when we get older. So listen, you go into your vinyl collection and you dig out your JJ kale. Good for you. Eat your vinyl, JJ. Happy birthday, buddy.
JJ, happy birthday, buddy. You are royalty, man. Have a good one.
Hey JJ, happy birthday. We've been through a lot of life changes together and we've made it through. And we can't wait to make it through this one so I can give you a big hug and kiss and pinch your wonderful cheeks. Love to you from our house to yours.
Hey, JJ.
Happy birthday.
Yep, it's been an interesting year. We hope next year is the best year you've ever had.
July babies rule.
Happy birthday to you.
I don't have much time.
Hi JJ, happy birthday. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great birthday weekend. Hopefully we'll get to celebrate in person soon. Happy birthday, my friend.
Happy birthday, Daddy.
Happy birthday, Daddy. I love you.
Happy birthday, baby, from me and Honey Bunny.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear JJ. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha.
JJ.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
And that was the surprise. That's the first time I've seen it, but that was a big surprise for you, JJ.
Huge surprise. Wow. Wow. Thank you.
Well, and thank you,
All
Dolly,
right.
for putting that together. That was very entertaining and sweet. And shamelessly, my dog is trying to hook up with your dog. You know, he was just looking for that opportunity.
That's awesome.
They will meet one day.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
that was just fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. I don't know what to say. Thank you.
All right, we will see you
All
guys
right,
soon. We'll
we'll see
celebrate
you.
with you another time, JJ. Thank you.
Yep.
And thanks to everybody who sent a message.
Yay.
That's all. All right. I'll let you get back to it.
Yes, thank you. That was very entertaining. All the people that took part in that video. Such wonderful thing that Dolly Ramirez, our fearless leader, put together for the love of her life, JJ. And as I think it was Bill said in that video, we hope that next year is the best year you've had yet, because this year has been challenging for all of us. Thankfully, we have shows like this and many Facebook live streams, and we have friends that we can Zoom with. And tonight, we have some fantastic guests joining us. You're really going to love this. In a little while, we're going to be meeting Adam Gaynor, a creative, outgoing, and frankly, a very inspiring individual. He's had great success in the entertainment industry, not only as an original member of the hugely popular band Matchbox 20, but also as the CEO of Creationville, a company that develops creative content in the area of animation, children's books, clothing, television, and film. On top of all that, he's got a wonderful, uplifting, and magnetic personality, so I know you're really going to enjoy meeting him. That's just in a little while. And after that, we'll be meeting our featured musical artist, singer-songwriter Emily Zuzik, whose music has been said to capture the film noir essence of Los Angeles' haunted past, while at the same time being infused with the soul of the Memphis Stax sound. Her songs are very compelling. She has a warm, engaging voice, and as we're going to witness firsthand just a little later in the show, she is a powerful performer both on stage and on virtual platforms such as this. She's going to be talking to us and playing some of her songs live right here on Songs and Sit Downs. So please stay with us for that. But first, we're going to go to one of our favorite weekly segments, which is written and presented by one of our favorite people. She has never let us down yet with her good news stories and her always positive view of life, and I'm sure tonight will be no exception. This is On the Upside with Jessica Lancaster.
Hey guys, happy Monday. I hope you had a fabulous weekend. I know I did. I've got some pretty awesome news for you today. Take a look at these recreated album covers. After months of lockdown with no family visiting their senior care home in North London, their activities co-coordinator came up with a rockin' idea. Why not use the residents as fabulous rock icon models? Robert Specker is responsible for keeping the seniors entertained during the COVID lockdown, and he also so happens to be a photographer and a lover of music. Robert says of his little art project, as the situation is ongoing, it could be months before the situation changes for them, and the need to keep them happy, entertained, and full of spirit has never been more crucial. What an amazing idea. My personal favorite is Ziggy Stardust. A month ago, I showed you the social distancing drive-in theater in London. Well, now there is a float-in movie theater in Paris. The French classic, and pardon my French, and by pardon my French, I mean I am terrible at pronouncing French, Le Grand Bain was the first movie shown this Saturday, with 150 locals gathered separately on 38 electric boats. I personally would love to see a movie on the water, as long as it's not Jaws. No thank you for that. All right, a family in Ohio is taking back the gender reveal announcement they made years ago, telling friends and family, we got it wrong. To honor their child's wishes, they held a do-over event in their backyard. We wanted to announce that we got it wrong 17 years ago when we told the world we were having a little girl and named that girl Mackenzie. So we'd like to introduce you to our son, Gray. The mom of 3 recalled how excited she and her husband Brandon had been to announce their baby girl back in 2003. We throw parties and pick out names. We assign attributes like strength or beauty based on what our child has growing between their legs. And most of the time that works out perfectly fine, she said. But sometimes we force these expectations and characteristics based on the biological sex and gasp, we got it wrong. What a wonderful way to show support, acceptance, and understanding. You know, we really do need more families like this out in the world. Okay, so I have a little confession to make. I've kind of been ignoring my nails. There it is, during the lockdown. They're terrible. And so I kind of identify with this next video. And I too can be just, you know, a little bit dramatic with some things. Anyway, hope you enjoy.
Yeah, give me your hand. Ginger. No, you're scared. It's just cutting your nails. I'm not gonna hurt you.
There she goes. Punk. She's dead.
All right. Thanks, everyone. That is it for this week. If you have any good news that you would like to share with us, please send it our way and we will help spread all of that love and joy. Thank you so much and have an awesome week. Bye.
Always end with a video of a fluffy friend. You can't go wrong there. Wow, what an adorable video. And thank you, Jessica. Always positive, always entertaining. We look forward to hearing more positive news and stories from you next week. Now to our first guest of the evening, Adam Gaynor. He is the CEO and creator of Creationville, an entertainment company born of Adam's passion for the entertainment industry. Since 2008, Creationville has been dedicated to developing projects in a wide variety of entertainment, including children's books, animation, clothing, TV and film projects, and most recently, a very fine new video podcast, also titled Creationville. The show is not only features some very interesting guests, but is also most skillfully hosted by Adam himself. As one of the original members of the band Matchbox 20, Adam and his band sold in excess of 25 million records. That's right, 25 million. And they played thousands of shows to millions of fans all around the globe. Matchbox 20 was nominated for 3 Grammy Awards, 2 American Music Awards. They won a People's Choice Award in 2004 and won Rolling Stone's Best New Band in 1998. We're absolutely delighted to have him with us as our guest here on Songs and Sit Downs this evening. Please welcome Adam Gaynor.
Woo! Man, I have to, I shouldn't, yeah, I'm sorry. I got excited about me being on the show. It was like, wow, who is this guy? This is the most exciting place to be. I was having breakfast a couple of minutes ago, so it's nice to be with you.
Yeah, so you're keeping all those rock star hours, my friend. Well, you've earned it.
I think it's vampire hours for sure. And then the music thing I also do on the side. But yeah, I don't know what is going on. I'd like to blame it on COVID, but I actually have always been pretty much a night owl. I've just changed 4 hours to go to bed from 4 to like 7 in the morning. It's really insane.
Well, why not? As long as you're getting sleep, it doesn't matter at what time, especially in these times when, you know, we're all locked down and we're doing our stuff from home.
Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of your rock star days, let's go back to when you started with Matchbox 20. Now that's way back in 1995, is that right?
Yeah, it seems like this morning, but I think that's like 20, 30 years ago. So yeah, it's a very 25 maybe, very long time ago. But yeah, it started in 95, we all met, and then the first record came out in 96.
Right, and then that record, being your first record, went 12 times platinum, which is extraordinary.
Yeah, I think there's so many weird conflicting things. I think it's 18 million, but then some people online say 12. I don't know. We got plaques for like 20. It's all really weird, but I'm bragging, of course, instead of saying 12, I'm saying 18 just to make sure that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I think worldwide maybe it was 18. I mean, it goes 12 times platinum in the United States and then worldwide. So you're up to about 18 million. Listen, if we go out for lunch after all this is over, it's on you, my friend.
Yeah,
you're picking up the tab. That's all I'll say now that I know it's 18 million. And so you guys formed and you all met in Florida. That's where you're from originally?
Yeah, I was, everybody's kind of from all over, but there were 3 original band members. The singer, the bass player, and the drummer were in a different band in Orlando. They found me answering phones at Criteria Recording Studio. The producer was there working with Collective Soul. They found me, heard a demo of mine, asked if I wanted to audition. It's a very short story, but I wound up meeting the guys, joining, but then we still needed another guitar player, went up to Atlanta, did a talent search, found our other guitar player, and then we all became a band.
So you were answering phones in the recording studio. I mean, was it
Yeah.
like you were so bad at doing that, they were like, we got to put this guy in a band just to get him away from the desk?
Contrary to that, Owen, I still to this day claim I was the world's greatest receptionist. So I was there for 8 years until I was almost 30 years old,
Wow.
answering phones. So I really was so proud of that job. And to this day, I hold people I work with accountable for foreseeing problems and making sure that no one has to think about a damn thing. That was my job. And I still carry it over as a CEO for an entertainment company and my podcast. It's literally just being super conscious of everything and everyone around you. As funny as it is answering phones for 8 years, you get a lot of value and lessons of anticipating people's needs when you're doing something like that.
Yeah, I would think so. And then it's down to your philosophy on a work ethic and,
Yeah.
doing your time and putting in your time. But it's extraordinary
Sure.
that you then get into a band in 1995 and then your first album happens just a year later. And it's an extraordinary, I mean, was that just an extraordinary ride for you guys? Were you kind of pinching yourselves and going, what is happening?
It felt super, as some people are in bands for 5 years and, they have some success. We were in a band, it's just hard to explain that. It all felt like it was going to happen. When I met Rob Thomas, our singer, I really understood the special quality of his songs. And I don't know that I expected to be playing arenas in like a year or two, but I did realize that this was kind of moving at the right progression. And when you're in that moment, I really wasn't thinking about how big it was going to get or if it wasn't going to work. I was just concerned with doing my part, trying to help out with development of songs and studio production like everybody in the band was doing. And then, it's just like you're in the van for 7 months with 6 people and then 7 people, then 8, then you have 12 people in a van. And then a year or two later, you're in a small bus and it just goes into everybody, then there's 2 band buses and 4 crew buses. It was a progression. And as much as for any musician who would hope to have that dream, that's fast for it to be like a year before you're in your own bus and then playing theaters-ish. But we started in small clubs, 20 people, 50 people, 200 people, and just going up and down the United States 2 or 3 times. Word of mouth, no internet back then. And I think it was just through good songs and us working really hard to be a great band. And that's what happened.
And it's a great album. I mean, I had it back in the 90s. My roommate had that album. We used to play it a lot. And I was living in Sydney, actually, in Sydney, Australia. And that album, Yourself or Someone Like You, the picture, I always wondered about that picture because it's a guy is he related to the band? Where did you find that?
That is my father.
Is it really? You're making that up.
Yeah, of course I was. That's a guy that I think was from some modeling agency. And I'm going to be wrong about this, so don't hold me to it. Something called like Funny Faces Inc. or Interesting Faces. And it's just a picture that we chose or a photo shoot that we did. Super strange. And who knew that it was going to be, for the 90s anyway, an iconic cover for, our biggest record. And that's what the deal was.
Yeah, if I remember, it's kind of got a blue sheen. Am I right in that?
The blue.
I seem to remember that album cover being blue, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, it's more in grays and gray overtones. There could be a little silver tone that gives you a hint of blue, but it's mostly gray, black, and a little red on it.
Wow. And then your second album, Mad Season, again, you guys aren't on the cover. I'm like, did you not like how you looked?
I think it's just one of those weird things, band decisions, band votes. It's so crazy when you're in the middle of all this. Everybody's got their own opinion. And the third record we finally were on the cover of, but then we all did this, which was not my idea. But we all did this so you couldn't see our faces. And then I'm just like, what are we doing? But that's, again, it's a band. There's 5 voices and voting. You got to vote.
Yeah, and that's your second album right there, Mad Season. Yep. And it's admirable, in my opinion, to have a band that are about the music and there's not the vanity of, oh, look at me on the cover,
Yeah.
It's very, very refreshing. And of course, that record then, I think, it went like 4 or 6 times platinum or something like that.
Yeah, it's probably right around there. 3, 4, 3, 3.5, 2.5, 275, something like that.
Yeah, which is extraordinary for a second album. Then, of course, your third album, More Than You Think You Are, that was at least double platinum, I would think.
Yeah, probably for sure. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting when you start off at diamond or whatever 18 platinum 18 multiplied by platinum is, and then you go to like double platinum where you just like I can't go to my high school reunion now. I've only got a double platinum album.
No, it was cute. I did go to my high school 20th. I'm an old guy, so I went to my 20th reunion in the middle of our heyday as kind of a support thing for some of my friends who were running the committee. And it was cute. It was like somewhat like a meet and greet because we were right in the middle of this crazy global movement. And there was only like I won't say who, but there was these two super sweet, geeky kind of kids from school that wound up getting married. And I just remember all night they were kind of staring at me from across the room. And finally, I just went up to them and they were all nervous and everybody else were my friends and they were totally fine. But these two people, it was really sweet. And of course, I sat with them for like 15 minutes just to give them that 15 minutes that was really cool for them. But to me, it's just like part of doing my job of making people feel good. And it was nice. Like it was really nice to see everybody.
Oh, that's great. I mean, what they say about fame like that is you don't change as a person, but people around you change. So I guess, their dynamic towards you was you as this rock star, not you as somebody that just happens to be at this high school reunion.
I think it's funny. In my experiences, it works two ways. There are people, and I'm not going to name names in the industry, who probably start out a little bit of a prima donna and high maintenance as a human. And then once you get that fame, it magnifies everything by 10 times. There's a few artists that are like that. And then there are a few cool, humble people that just expand their lifestyles and they relatively stay good people. Some of the biggest people in the world, like Mick Jagger and Steven Tyler and all these people that are the rock icons of our time are actually pretty good people. And there's a lot of other people in between that can act like punks and act very ungrateful.
Right, and there's no respect for those people, really. It's funny when we talk about record sales. I was just talking to my friend Michael the other day. He's got an album, and he was like, I'm excited because my album's starting to go into almost actually at double digits. And I'm like, that's the reality for most musicians. So, to have found that path must have, and I think about like what I've recorded. I mean, platinum. Yeah, like I've barely gone toxic lead in anything that I've ever brought out.
Oh, please. It's great. Toxic lead. I call it linoleum. There's like linoleum and then platinum. It's like different grades of gold, silver, platinum. And then we start with, look, my podcast, which we'll talk about later, it's linoleum. We just started. I got like 300 followers. And I literally equate it to the club days. It's like played for 50 people, be patient, word of mouth. I don't know how many people you have on your show, but whatever we're doing today, you have to start somewhere and you put out the best quality. This is my life lesson for all your viewers today. It doesn't matter where we start. You put in the work, you put in the time. And if you have a great concept, word of mouth will happen at some point. Just be super patient, stay on your course. As I say on my show every day, leave your horsey blinders on, don't listen to the noise, and just stay focused on what you can do to make your show and your thing better. And then you'll build your audience and it'll take off at some point if you're doing your job.
And one of the beliefs that you have that you put forth in the show, I've watched a couple of episodes now, and you say that it's not just about inspiring artists, but it's anybody who's got a dream. I think you mentioned in one of them that I heard you say, like if somebody wants to open a flower shop, well, if they put in the work, and then it's a balance between talent and hustle, right?
Yeah, we're going to expand the format. Like right now, I deal with like Hollywood editions and music business editions. We have TV producers, writers, showrunners, musicians, music producers, artists. And I think what we're trying to discover together is the path of their success, what it took. Some people talk about stories in the mailroom. Some people talk about making cold phone calls for 2 years. Some people talk about passing a script around that, didn't get picked up for 5 years. And then later on, I want to expand that into just everybody who has a creative passion. It's really about the work, and it's really about you being a tenacious person and putting yourself as the ability to owe it to yourself to succeed equates to the amount of work that you're going to put in to live your dream. Even if you have a family, even if you have a wife, you have to find that time, that block of time a day to work on your craft or your project, your writing. And you have to have a support system if you do have a family or kids. And it's not always easy, but you have to try.
And you have to be fluid. You got to go with the journey. If it's changing, you got to change with the journey, right?
Absolutely. I call it halftime adjustments because I'm a big sports guy. So if you keep pounding something for years and years and you're getting very little growth on your Facebook page. Like, you can always have the core of fans or friends, really, and family that support you. But if you feel like you're not getting that outside, the outside recognition, then you really need to start making small adjustments. There is a statistical chance that you can pound the same pavement for 5 years and then bam, it happens. But you also have to be it's a delicate balance, right? There's no true formula for mass success, massive record sales, massive band. You have to put the work in. You have to write hit songs. You have to create a product that commercially is going to be successful, or create something that is the core of your passion that you can't live without, and then let it slowly do its thing. It may not be the biggest commercial success, but if that's what your heart wants to do, then keep developing it. And if you want to meet big business halfway, then you have to make adjustments to meet them halfway.
Right. Well, it's success we were talking about earlier. It's just like you're doing your creative passion. Anybody who's doing that is finding success. Now, the show, which by the way is well worth checking out, and you guys, you got to find you'll find it on Adam's website, creationville.com, and there's also a YouTube channel, youtube.com/creationville, and Edgar Pingleton, who's an ambassador for the show. Do you want to tell us a little bit of, now there's a character you created.
I know, I don't even have my Edgar doll. Hold on, I'm going to scream.
Well, we have a photo of him right there. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Edgar?
Yeah, that's my, I just screamed off camera. It's basically, Edgar is the idea to give and receive unconditional love from something that's not perfect is kind of the basis of what Edgar represents. And then what we're trying to do is expand. I just got assistance from my beautiful girl. So here's Edgar. Yeah, we needed to get this is the new Edgar with the white belly. So we had to get him. He looks a little sick. I think he had a little champagne last night. So so this is Edgar Pingleton, and the idea for him, see, there he goes. Oh, he's not doing good. Like, this is half the interview is now me playing with Edgar. Is basically there's a children's book that we're going to be releasing on the website soon, and that it's the same brand as the podcast, but for kids, which is basically you want to hope and wish upon a star. It's awesome, but it's even cooler when you do something about it. So if you're a kid, you want to be a famous baseball player, you got to get out there, play 15 minutes a day. If you want to be a musician or play guitar, 15 minutes a day, and before you know it, you're going to be pretty talented. And if we could teach kids at a super young age what repetition and what focus and dedication is to anything, whether it's science, reading books, being a laboratory tech, being an astronaut, I don't care. It's just about getting in a regiment. It's getting in repetition, putting in the work. And then the TV or the podcast is basically for adults, the same brand. It's really teaching people the amount of work and extraordinary dedication it takes to be successful is very, very, very daunting, but it's all doable. We all have the same basic DNA. And I'm really proud to say that I've been very fortunate, but it came with a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and it's a great message to put forth, you know, and as Edgar Pingleton says, I dream, I believe, I do. That's basically the message. Hi, Edgar. That is a good message. Now, we have a chance to win, actually, our own Edgar Pingleton. Can you tell us a little bit about how we could go about that?
Absolutely. If you go to the YouTube channel and subscribe, which is, you said, youtube.com/Creationville, or you go to Creationville.com and you join our mailing list. Either way, we do a drawing every week where for the first 3 months of the podcast, we're going to be drawing 5 winners. We already picked our winners from the launch, which we're going to be announcing in the next 2 weeks. And then we're going to go down the line. And then randomly, I just like the truth is, it's so crazy, but I wish I was like a billionaire because I would just give these away all day. Because it's like my favorite thing to see people's reactions when you just give them this silly toy. And they just, like, adults and kids seem to gravitate to Edgar, so it makes me super proud.
It's so cute. I'm going to enter your competition. I'm going to go on your website and enter, and I'm going to go on your YouTube and I'm going to enter. So
you may have an inside track to getting your own, but you could still enter. But have an inside track.
You're very kind, Adam. The next time I see you, I'll remind you of that. I do appreciate that. And of course, if you want to go to Adam's YouTube, you can go there right now, youtube.com/Creationville, and subscribe for a chance to win your very own Edgar Pingleton. Now, so you also have a co-host who's also very entertaining, good sidekick, Randy Cook. How did you hook
Yeah.
up with Randy?
Randy is amazing. I have known him in Hollywood since I pretty much moved out, done multiple projects that I've asked him to help me on, drumming, brought him some people that I know. That guy's worked with everyone from Mick Jagger to Ringo Starr to Dave Stewart, did some work. That's my boy right there. I'm just so proud and so grateful. He's such a perfect balance on the show to my insanity. And by the way, whether he'll tell you or not, he's pretty crazy too. But he's our musical director and co-host. So he loads up the bin with some really great tracks and really great music that we've been using on the show, and a lot of sound design. And then I produce some sound design off the air, and I just try to make it like a sensation for your ears if you're podcasting or if you're watching. I don't want to make it just a typical visual podcast or audio one. I want surprises. There's Easter eggs throughout the whole episode. If you really pay attention and watch the whole show, there's little details and things that you'll notice are different in every episode up until the very last credit rolls. I try to bring value, which is something I teach, to every second of what we're doing. And I think it's really important to try to do your best work and do as much as you can.
Yeah, and of course, that's you there with Randy and also Cara Connolly, which was a very inspiring show. That one of the shows that I watched, and it looks like the kind of vibe that you want to invite people into. It's beautifully edited, great post production and sound, very professional. So do check that out. Not just because you might win your very own Edgar, but it's a good channel to subscribe to. Now, also, you're involved in another YouTube channel and another program that happens weekly, I believe.
Yeah.
Called Social Distance Sing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. My buddy and co-creator, co-producer Steve Zarnecki approached me one day with a concept to do some kind of a social distancing channel. He came up with the name Social Distancing, and we brainstormed for a while and came up with the concept to do a social distancing variety show so that people who were quarantining at the beginning when we were mandated for stay at home would have something inspiring, entertaining, and something that would really motivate you to maybe be creative yourself. And we started the channel a little late in the process, but I was super inundated with doing my pre-production for my show. So once we got it together, we launched. We have a really nice little following at this point, and we'll be continuing again in August with some new episodes. But yeah, I'm really proud because it's a feel-good thing. We wound up getting a really nice audience for it, and it's great if you have contributions. Go to Social Distance Sing, like the word sing.com, and you can submit any of your videos about being quarantined, re-entering civilization, wanting to kill your spouse, which we shouldn't legally say, but if we're on Dateline, we might as well.
Yeah, but we're into our 4th month now, so anything's possible, and it's another very professionally produced show. And you sing the opening. I think in the titles that must be you singing. I figure, right?
Yeah, it was. It was really fun to write the theme for the show. So I did a little bit of. I just did it really quick at home. But it's I know, what's funny is I don't ever say this about myself, but it's annoyingly catchy. I'm very proud of that.
It is catchy. I mean, the host, I think the reason when she opened and she started singing it, and she was like, "Oh, if it's not in your head by now," I was like, "It's in my head, stuck inside my house," or whatever it is. I'm like, "Adam, get out of my head." But no, it's really good. You're creating some great stuff. Now, here's something, we have run out of time, but I got to ask you this. I got to ask you this anyway. You were on a reality show. I think it was a Bravo show called Millionaire Matchmaker.
Oh boy, yeah.
I know.
Before we go to Millionaire Matchmaker, I didn't add that I just wanted to thank Steve Zarnecki, my partner on that show, because he's been crushing production as I've been juggling 2 projects. He's been crushing that show, and I'm just so proud and grateful for him. I want to thank Gwendolyn, one of your fans, for subscribing to my station. Gwendolyn Oliver, I just noticed she said thank you, and she wants to win an Edgar. And answering your question, thank you. As we run out of time, I get to everything. Yeah, it was really fun. When I first moved to Hollywood, I pitched a project at CAA. They sent me to all these production companies for a show that I wanted to do for myself. One of the companies asked me to do the show. I said, no, I'm not doing Millionaire Matchmaker. They literally asked me 6 times in a month. I made a deal that I got to show my music. I got to show Edgar on the show. And And there was one other thing that I had to ask him to do. And then I did the show, super fun, had like a crazy 3 days. And it was, was it great for the brand and to help my social media? Not much, but I was really proud of the showing. It was a good episode.
Right, and it's a fun thing to be involved in. Your friend Steve Zarnecki that you just mentioned, who I agree is just doing a great job with the production on that
so
show,
proud of
Social
him.
Distancing. I mean, I was talking to him about his wedding that he did as a reality show. He actually
Yes.
got married. I think it was on a Showtime show, Wedding Altered. It was. And why not? It's fun, right? And you get, and I saw a clip of Millionaire Matchmaker where you actually were playing a song. You were sitting there with the guitar and you actually got to play a song. Are you doing, I know you've been through, the highest level of music, but do you ever play for fun now? Do you ever do any recording at home, or are you just working now on the Creationville project?
Yeah, right now Creationville is it's unbelievable how much of a production schedule I have just to do that show. And if you watch the show, I try to put this Easter egg in each episode where I do a 40-second original song tribute to the guests, just to freak them out. It started with an actor from Twilight, Peter Facinelli. So I was singing a song to him in a dark, creepy room. And then I did another song for the Power Rangers executive producer, and then Kara Conley last week. So between writing the song, putting the song down, editing the show, it's like a full-time job.
Yeah.
So music to me right now is more about work than it is about just a cathartic release. Sometimes it becomes a little bit more of an instrument as a tool for a necessity. But hopefully, if things ever settle down and I expand my team and don't have to produce and edit myself, then I think I'll have more time to noodle around.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's so good, and thank you so much for spending this time with us. Adam, Creationville, what a great message that you're sending to the world. You're creating great production. Edgar Pingleton is just adorable. I want to read the book. I want to read his book because I want to believe and do also. And we're going to finish now by just playing a little clip that's like a promo clip for some of the work that you do and draws attention to this great show that you're producing and that you're hosting. And I urge anybody who's watching to tune in and watch it. It's such a high level of professionalism, and you really are a great host.
Thank you.
That is... And you have some great guests, and we look forward to seeing that as the weeks and months progress. And Adam Gaynor, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, and you're doing a great job in your production, Dolly, JJ, everybody. God bless you. Happy birthday, JJ. And thank you, Owen. You're doing a great job yourself, buddy.
I appreciate you, Adam. Thank you so much.
Thanks, brother of mine.
And we shall leave our segment now with the great Adam Gaynor with just a little video that'll show you a little more about the work that he's been doing with his company, Creationville. This is Adam Gaynor. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thanks, brother.
And we could just have a staring match. We could do that also.
I was holding position. I was holding position.
Right. Holding position so it looks like it freeze. It's like a freeze frame or something.
If you see those performance videos on my first 3 shows, I literally do that. It looks like the camera freezes, but it's me holding so I can fade it out. I swear to God, if you need to watch those now, because every performance that I do on the podcast, I literally play and go ring, and then I just stop. And it looks like the camera froze, but it's literally me being an idiot and holding so that I can fade it out.
You're like, don't look at me, don't look at me.
Yeah,
funny. It's so funny. That's what I love about live, because when you're doing live, like anything can happen. It's an adrenaline rush. Before the show, it's just like, because if we were to record this, we would probably, spend hours editing, and we'd probably talk for an hour, which we might talk for an hour now, the way things are going.
It's fine. I'm watching the clock for sure.
Okay, so I think we're ready to go now. I just got a message from the lovely Dolly. Well, again, thank you, Adam. It's been so much fun. I hope we get a chance to catch up soon.
What a pleasure, Owen. Thank you again, man. You did a great job. Thank you so much for having me, bud.
Thank you, brother. And this is Adam Gaynor, Creationville.
Let's do this. My name is Adam Gaynor, and after selling 25 million records as a former original member of the band Matchbox 20, I decided to come to Hollywood and open an entertainment company called Creationville. I've shot reality TV sizzles, animation shorts, and even manufactured plush toys overseas. But when it was time to launch the company, I needed help. So I called in a few friends to help us all navigate Hollywood. This is Creationville.
Wow, Adam Gaynor, what an inspiring individual. Funny, charming, a hard worker, and just an inspiring human being. We just appreciate our guest so much, and we appreciate the time that he's given us and the stories that he shared with us and the inspiration that he brings us all. We look forward to hopefully chatting with him again in the future. Now, I should remind us we're about to have our musical artist soon, and just a tip reminder, we do have as it says on your screens right now, all tips help support our musical guest. It's paypal.me/Divine Rebel Music, venmo.com/Divine Rebel Music. And of course, if you're in a position where you can't afford it, we're just happy to have you with us. We're just delighted to have your company. And now we're going to move on to our wonderful featured musical artist, Emily Zuzik, who has been described as a singer, a songwriter, and a rocker mom. Her music crosses several genres, including soul, rock, country, blues, electronica, and folk. Yeah, all those genres. Incredible. From these, she has developed a unique signature style that provides her own brand of roots music that is both urban and earthy. She's released 14 solo and collaborative EPs, singles, and she's had co-writes with several great artists such as Moby, Dan Navarra, Tim LaFave, and her music has been licensed for MTV, the MTV show Catfish, and Bravo's Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, among others. Before we meet her, we're going to hear a little bit about her new single, All That Love, which has already been featured in Twangville, Red Guitar Music, and on Austin Music Television. The song has been played on country radio shows, both nationally and internationally, and the video we're about to see, just less than a month ago, June 29th, in fact, made its debut on Diddy TV. But now, right here on Songs and Sit-Downs, we have the honor of playing it for you this evening. This is All That Love by Emily Zuzik.
On paper we got it made. It was so crystal clear, now it's starting to fade. And if this house doesn't stand, what story would it tell? That it came down to this. I wanted more than you could give. Tore it up to make it fit. All that work for nothing. All that love to choose. All that love for nothing. All that love to lose. You got sober with a shrug. Left me to kick the drug. And it's reckoning time for me. Oh, how you wrecked me.
Please welcome Emily Zuzik.
Hi, Owen. How are you?
I'm good, Emily. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Good. It's so nice to see you. And your new single, All That Love, which I believe you describe as a real country weeper. I think that's actually a good description.
I definitely call it that, yes.
Yeah. I think it's what we need. What we need these days, all that love for nothing, all right?
Right. Well, we've all done it at some point, so you might as well sing about it, right?
Yes, we have, and I guess that's something, the effort we put into relationship, and then we don't know what's going to come. Is this from life experience?
Of course. I don't paint the pictures like totally fictitiously. This is an older one, so yeah, I was writing definitely a lot more true to life at that point. It was a co-write. I'm not exactly sure it was pinpoint on one particular person, but it was definitely rooted in truth and rooted in at least one person, probably a couple, and you just make a composite for the story.
Yeah, that's what I do. I blame my songs on several people. It's a safer bet, I think.
That way they have nothing on you in a court of law.
Yeah, I changed the timeline of when I wrote it just in case somebody thinks it's about them.
There you go.
I had a friend once actually, and he asked me, we were driving in the car, and he says, "You know that song you wrote about this guy who's got an ego?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was quiet for, "Is that about me?" And he was dead serious. And of course I laughed. That's the funniest thing I ever heard, because it actually was about him, and I didn't want him to know. But
You're hiding it. You're like, no, that was like my gym teacher in 7th grade.
yeah, that's what it is. It's like, never befriend a songwriter, because if it doesn't end well, you are screwed.
Yeah.
But there's a great message. What's that?
I said, I'm sure there's others too that do that, novelists and poets and any kind of writer, really.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have a creative friend, you take your life in your hands. Now, the message in that song too, I love you say, like, looking back is fine, but letting go is the key. And I think that's something that we all need to do, right?
I believe so. I think it's the way you get to the better place, and whatever that is for whoever you are, finding presence and finding peace and forgiving yourself in a lot of cases, because sometimes you can distantly forgive people or you can't, but sometimes you have to forgive yourself for hanging on to that. I wasn't able to get the closure, I mean, that's as much of a burden as if you did the ill will,
Right, but suffer long enough to write a great song and then get over it.
Or if someone reminds you of it when you're particularly vulnerable.
Yes, because it never goes away, right? It's just how well we deal with it over the years. Now, your upcoming record, Torch and Trouble, that's coming up next month, right?
Yeah, August 28th.
Wow, fantastic. And that's a single that we just heard from the record.
Yeah, that's the second single. And the whole thing, I think it goes on pre-sale at the end of this month, July 31st. So that's kind of another date that I'll be bandying about.
And of course, we can find out about that and your upcoming shows on emilyzuzik.com. I know you've got an album release party coming up, I think on the 24th with Ted Russell Kamp.
Yeah, I guess it's an album release for me too. I can talk about and play new songs, but I still have a month till it's out. But I'm very excited to be helping to celebrate Ted's album because it's great. And Ted produced my record. And I sang on, I don't know if it's the first single or not, the one he did with Shooter, I sang background vocals on. So that's kind of fun too, that I had some small part down in the den. But yeah, he's a bud, he's a neighbor, he's a fellow rocker parent. And so, we connect on a lot of different levels, and that's really special.
Yeah, and you recorded the album down in the den in actually Ted's studio, right?
It's a combo. We did most of the overdubs and some vocal overdub tracking at the Den, which is his studio. And we did the basic tracks over at Station House, which is run by Mark Rains in Echo Park.
Now, the other single that you mentioned on that album is Trouble. This is one that you wrote with Benji Rogers?
Yes, actually, I wrote All That Love with Benji Rogers, too. And then Ted is also a co-writer on Trouble, because we did we revisited the second verse when we came around to getting into production with the song, because the original second verse is funny, but it's a little too in-jokey,
Right. And then that's the power of having a good producer can say, come on, other people are going to listen to this besides us.
They're like, no, they don't get that Jane Fonda reference. So,
Yeah, too much of an in joke. You don't want to explain your songs in the liner notes.
Exactly.
And you ended up touring Ireland and England. Was it? Did you do that with Benji Rogers?
I did it with Benji and with Ari Hest. And along with us was Rob Calder, who played bass by the end of it with all of us. And we did a couple of shows with Michael Brunnock in Ireland. And I'm trying to think, there were some other great artists along the way up in Scotland and down in London that we played with. But we were the three that did the main, we were the three main acts on that tour. It was really fun.
Well, I'm glad you got your touring in while it was possible.
Right?
Yes. And, speaking of trouble, the music video is just fantastic. It's so alive because you got the band playing in the house and then you're also in the kitchen and you're like
making chocolate cupcakes.
Yeah, with chocolate cupcake, like all good things are happening in that video. And complication, as you say in the song, I don't mind a bit of complication. Now, I hope that's not about a current relationship. I hope you're also being nostalgic.
No. Oh, God. That was a long time ago. So, yeah, my current relationship is steady and peaceful and doesn't make a lot of lyrics.
Yeah, isn't that great? I would much rather have weaker songs with a good relationship. That's certainly I stopped writing all those heartfelt and pain songs when I got into a relationship, and I'm glad I did. But a part of having Ted Russell Kamp produce your album was to get, I suppose, that earthy Americana feel.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I played a show with he and Adam, or he was going by AJ Hobbs. The three of us played up at the Adam Pack station up in Arcadia in the mountains. It was a great summertime gig that I don't know if it's happening still or not because I don't know if Deb's booking. But we played this show and, everybody's good, but it's kind of like you're playing for hikers drinking beers. So, a lot of times it's sort of like you're just sort of dialing it in. I shouldn't say that because a lot of people might not be thinking about it that way. But I always thought about it like I did with cover band shows, which is like, this is a good time. This isn't about like a deep listening room. But I went there and I saw them both. And Ted just really impressed me with his songwriting and his songs. And I was like, oh, God, like I need to meet him. And I felt the same way about AJ. And I talked to them. And at the time, we were all living in the same neighborhood. So I was like, oh my God, what are the odds? And it's like, I've got to work with you guys. And for a while I was singing with AJ and I started writing a little bit with Ted. And, that's how stuff happens.
Yeah, I know. And Ted, I know he's worked with a lot of people too. I see him. We had KP Hawthorne on the show some weeks ago and we played one of the videos and I was like, there's Ted again. Like
Ted plays with everybody.
Yeah. And he's
he really does.
producer.
He's so talented. He can just switch genres and, and he brings his own special thing to each situation.
Yeah, well, speaking of genres, you are also multi-eclectic in your genres. I mean, you co-write with Moby on that electronica track, which ended up on his album Destroyed. Now, did he think of, because when I hear, your roots Americana, which we're going to ask you to play in a moment, but how did Moby think, I got to get Emily Zuzik to write these lyrics on this electronica track?
In the world of spider webbing, as I like to call it, I was in a cover band with a drummer named Aaron Brooks. And Aaron Brooks was in a band with Moby that eventually became known as The Little Death. And he was working with Laura Dawn and Darren Murphy and some other folks. And I'm terrible because I don't always remember names. But I had come in to audition initially for it. And he remembered hearing me sing and thought, I'm writing a bunch of different songs. And from what I've heard from other people, he likes to work with a lot of different co-writers and a lot of different singers, sometimes even on the same track, and just see who comes up with the song he likes best. And so I had co-written a bunch of stuff, but the only one that we ended up using was The Low Hum. And it's interesting because it's totally written about a new apartment I was moving into. And I was just going with it because I was moving in and I was kind of stressful. And like, I was right near Bellevue Hospital. So, that low industrial sound when you're near hospitals.
Yes.
I was in this vacant apartment with I put a strand of Christmas lights over the window and I was looking outside and I heard the industrial noise of the city. And I was just really at peace because I was very happy in that place, like moving into that place and getting a little bit of drama out of my life from another situation. And it just came out of me. And then he was working on the Destroyed album and book, which was his thought was for the project, being in sort of industrial spaces that are completely vacant, like landing on a plane and coming into JFK at like 4 a.m., where you're doing that long hallway and it's like fluorescent lights and you're just out of your mind, but it's just, so he was really struck by that quality. He's like, you really nailed the concept. And I was like, oh, okay. I was just writing about my apartment, but great. That works very well. So I think it was serendipitous that was the song that made the record.
Yeah, and you've reflected it in he's reflected in the music video too, where you see those sterile environments, and I think the last time we spoke, I pointed out that it reminded me of sort of like a collaboration with Brian Eno and David Bowie. You kind of had that feel in your voice, in your performance, and then of course the electronica music. I think it's a really good match. I think people need to check this out. It's called the Low Hum, and there's a great music video. Your lyrics in that too, they're very telling. I can't help myself. I'm in love with this isolation. I just go like, oh, you poor person. So that was you writing about
been there at some point. I mean, maybe
yes.
not everybody has, but I feel like everyone at some point is alone and is feeling it, isn't necessarily overwhelmed and ugly crying. You know what I mean? Yes. They feel the solitude. They feel in some ways a peace about it, but in also an acceptance. And I think that's important to have that moment. It says a lot about where you are and how present you are. And I don't know what the next right step might come in that moment of silence.
Right, and what I know about Moby, I would imagine those lyrics really speak to him too, So, Emily, we have talked for like way longer than we should have, but it's been fun.
I talk. That about me.
Talking is fun, but we got people that are watching right now, and they're like, "Will you ever, for God's sake, let Emily sing?" So. If you wouldn't mind doing maybe 3 songs for us, and then we'll come back and we'll chat a little bit.
I would love to.
Great, thank you so much.
I'm doing something else. All right, let's get this party started.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Emily Zuzik.
All right, this is actually this is a song that's going to be coming out next on my record, Torch and Trouble, and it's actually the first song, and it's called "Stay Wild." You'd been stringing me along, and I'd been playing my role. You gave enough to keep appearances up and run away when I fold. Everyone wears a mask sometimes. Mine's beginning to fall. And hey now, where have you been? I've been trying to keep this thing going. Say, child, stay wild, all that you are. I'll be saying goodbye this time. I'll be saying stay wild. I saw the warning signs, all that drama I found. Maybe I'm just too much to handle for you, you said, and then I stuck around. Gotta wish I had told you you're right, instead of giving in to pride. And hey now, where have you been? I've been trying to keep this thing going. Say, child, stay wild, all that you are. I'll be saying goodbye this time. I'll be saying stay wild. You brought up tears in the end and gave me flowers to burn. I tried so hard to hear that you would be back, but I still had so much to learn. You had a box of faces ready at hand. I had a chance to see them all. Hey now, where have you been? I've been trying to keep this thing going. Oh, and stay, child, stay wild, all that you are. I'll be saying goodbye and stay wild. Stay wild. Stay wild. Yeah, stay wild. So I guess we're just going to keep plowing through. No commercial interruptions. Last time I was here, I did a lot more talking with Owen, but I think we did all the talking up top. So I'm going to slow it down a bit. This is the one that everybody likes me to play. I always like to play it. It's been around for a long time. It'll be coming out with the album too. It's called Magic. First time I met you, I felt that I'd known you for a lifetime. And all the years that I've been learning only seems to be confirming that my gut was right. I know you're a loner, but I feel in my soul I could be good for you. Each time I see you, each time I see you, it's magic. Each time I see you, each time I see you, it's magic. Oh, and the years they do go flying as we're out here busy trying to make our lives work out. And I never took the time to say what's truly on my mind. I'm just too scared of that. It's hard to be that honest, even when I think we're on the same page here, babe. Still, each time I see you, each time I see you, it's magic. Each time I see you,
Each time I see you, it's magic. I've got your back, don't you worry. But I have to laugh at the stars crossed our paths of this time. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it shouldn't happen, leave my heart here to imagine that should be good enough. 'Cause we got someone between us, and we both know what that means. All those consequences. You're a man of your honor, and I'd likely be the goner in this love affair. Still, each time I see you, each time I see you, it's magic. Each time I see you, each time I see you, it's magic. Each time I see you, each time I see you, oh yeah. Each time I see you, each time I see you, it's magic. Oh. That's number 2 down. I was thinking of mixing it up a little bit and playing a song that was released as an as an electronic song that was used in the show Smallville, and has just had a little life of its own since then. And when I originally wrote it, it was more like a dark, torchy song. And I thought about it. Let me do that. Boom, boom. I don't know if it'll continue or not. And it's a little tune called It Don't Matter to Jesus. Sitting pretty is all I've ever seen her do. I know you would take much too smart to fall for it too, but baby, baby, do ya ever compromise? When you're staring into the emptiness inside, baby, baby, does she feel like me? It wasn't long ago that you swore the world would be mine, and I believed it, huh?
Yes, I fell for your greatest line, but baby, baby, did you even really think it through? Didn't take that long for you to find my substitutes. Baby, baby, does she feel like me? It don't matter to Jesus. It don't matter to anyone. I simply wanted an answer to let you know what you had done. Baby, baby, do you wanna go? I know you're tired from all your running around, but I simply had to let you know. Baby, baby, she'll never quite be me. Thank you, Divine Rebel Music. I'm Emily Zuzik.
Thank you, Emily. And we're not letting you go that fast.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how this whole thing would pan out, so I figured.
Well, we appreciate the thank you, but we're going to keep you just for a little longer if that's okay with you.
Please do.
So now that was, wow, It Don't Matter to Jesus. Now, that was used, as you said, on Smallville. How did that come about?
This is a funny story. So this came about because I was, let's do this. Yeah, that's good. I was in Turks and Caicos at a Club Med with one of my rock cover bands called Aki is the Glue. And we were playing for a week of shows, and it was really fun. But we met some people there, and one of the people that we met was one of the producers of Smallville. And he liked a lot of our music and those of us who also had original projects. And so he tried to get all of us in the show. And I don't know if everybody else did. They had a lot of electro music, so it was a good fit. And that one was off of my first solo album. But I used to play it with my old kind of folky, rootsy band, Sex Fresh, in that version. With like accordion and maybe banjo, like dark upright bass. It was like very gothy. And that's how I got in there. He wanted it, and I said, that's awesome, and let's make it happen. And I signed contracts, and years later, it's still getting played on the Smallville fans playlists and stuff like that. So that's great.
Wow, it's actually, a lot of songwriters now, they're looking toward placement of their songs in TV and film because that's where a lot of the revenue is, since the shortfall of streaming and Spotify and all that isn't paying that much. Now, you also sang, and don't ask me how I know this. You see, the good thing, as I said to our guest last week, is hosting a show like this, you get justified in being a stalker to one person for a certain amount of time.
Hey, I used to be in your job. I've done your job, so I get it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, right?
I love it.
It is good too, though, because you get to explore artists' work and you kind of you get deep into their creativity, and it's very inspiring. This week it's been Emily Zuzik and Matchbox 20.
Well, those
So
are good things to get involved in,
yeah,
right?
it's been a good week. So you sang the theme song, I believe, to Love Bites, the NBC show.
I did.
Wow, and was that through the producer from Smallville, or was
Nope,
that a different
totally
contract?
different. I have done a lot of writing work with a friend of mine, Art Hayes, and we had done a lot of pitches for TV and commercials, and they were looking for, I don't know if they came directly to Art or if we were just in a pool of people pitching. They knew they had a song they wanted to do, and so we just had to do the cover, which is the Pretender song. And so we did it, and we had to do like 3 rounds because the first time we did it kind of straight ahead, sound alike. And they're like, we can't even use this. You can match Chrissy Hine too well, and that would get us into trouble. So I said, okay. So then we went a total different direction. I was like, well, why don't we make it do like that indie cutesy Target ad sound, you know?
Right.
Like, now the reason we're here, you know? And they didn't like that either. So we had to find this sort of hipster rocker vibe that was in the middle, you know, landing in the kind of Sheryl Crow realm, basically, which is kind of where my voice lives anyway. So that's the one they used. And, you know, I was singing a theme song for a season. That was pretty cool. I get these texts from my cousins back in Pennsylvania. They're like, we have you on full blast. I was like, yes.
Wow, that's a lot of fun. It's interesting you mentioned Sheryl Crow because I know she's a fan of yours. She's written some good stuff. She's written some good stuff. As I said, you know, I have an excuse to stalk you for a couple of days before the show. So I mean, I know she's a fan of yours, and I'm sure you're a fan of hers.
Of course.
Yeah, I would imagine you've been very inspired by her work. Also, I would imagine.
There was definitely some hours logged. It's another one. The second record where she's like kind of peering through her hair.
Yeah.
It came out when I think I was a sophomore in college. I can't remember exactly, but I had a friend who was a big music head, and he was always interested in what I was doing. And he wasn't a musician, but he's like, she's stealing your look for that cover. I was like, well, I don't know about that. I think all of us sort of had a Rachel cut then and like had some highlights, but you know, that's very fine that you think that.
Hey, I do the looking through my hair thing too sometimes, you know.
You know, it's perfect. Like I have full all one length hair because I chopped off the long part like at the beginning. I shouldn't say the beginning of quarantine, but now I have this like all one length bob. So I'm constantly like doing this when I'm trying to do work, or it's tied up in a ponytail, you know.
Yeah, well, COVID not only has been dictating our lifestyle, but our haircuts too, unfortunately, these days.
Oh yeah. This is homegrown haircutting. I'm always in there going, like, oh, I got that one wrong, and I'm sitting getting OCD in the mirror with like my scissors trying to even up my haircut.
That's great. Well, I guess you have experience being a mom. I'm sure you do your daughter's hair too, right?
No, she won't let. Well, she won't let me cut it because she wants to grow it long, but she is terrible at brushing it. So she had this massive dreadlock in the back that I just cut a big hunk of her hair out, but she had like overlayer, so you don't really see it. She didn't care either. Anyway, I don't care. But she has this massive dreadlock. I just cut out of her hair, and if you go under the top layer, she's got this big chunk that's up to the top of her neck. It's so funny to me.
Oh, that's very cool. Well, you know, if you have a scissors and a child and they have hair, you get to torture them. That's just part of being a parent, right?
I suppose it is. I don't know. Other people are like, I got to take my kid for a haircut. But, you know, I've cut my own hair and dyed my own hair for so many years. And it didn't necessarily look professional by any measure, but I've just done it. And I don't have a fear of doing it. And that probably, you know, works against me a bit of the time. But,
you know, I'm sure our viewers... I'm sure our viewers are thinking, now they're talking about hair. Let's hear some more music.
You're talking, you see how diverse my musical inspirations are and my musical output. Why would I not talk about 5 million things under the sun, you know?
No, absolutely. So diverse, and it's fun just to get an insight into your life in quarantine also. Well, Emily, we just enjoyed listening to those songs so much, those 3 songs.
Thank you.
Would you do us the honor of playing out this segment with one more song?
Sure. Let me think. What do you want? Do you want slow or fast?
Well, I don't know if I could request Motels. Is that something that you like to do
Yeah,
live?
I love that one.
Yeah, I love that music video. For our viewers. You're about to hear this live, which believe me is a treat. You should also check out the music video for that because it's so well done and so entertaining. And
That was a
Emily
fun
Zuzik,
story.
thank you for spending this time with us. I hope we get a
Thank
chance
you,
to chat
Owen.
again soon.
And thank you, Dolly and JJ and everybody at Divine Rebel Music. And thank you, Adam, for giving such an awesome talk and making us laugh and, promising us Edgar dolls.
Yeah,
Things like that.
let's hope. I know Adam is still online. We're still
Oh, good.
communicating there. I know he's been watching this segment, so let's form a union to get Edgar dolls.
Yeah. I'll send my daughter in with like her dreadlockless hair.
Oh, that sounds good. Well, you got to compensate her with something, having done that to the back of
Well,
her head.
they've been out walking the dog. I don't know where they are, but they'll be back soon. But I want to entertain you, and this is Motels.
Thank you so much, Emily.
Sometimes I go to motels to write. Darkened bedrooms do me good. And all those dirty little things that folks do scream out like secrets from the wood. And I write them down. Oh yeah. Motels. Motels. Sometimes I go to motels to think. Bitter silence keeps me there. I've got a lot on my mind since you came round. I've got an axe to grind, my dear, so I'll grind it down. I'll grind it down. Oh yeah. Motels. Motels. And sometimes I hear folks through the wall, lovers embrace. Lately I've been hearing one with the strangest trace of your voice. Sometimes I go to motels to screw. Lord knows you've seen your share too. And all those tiny little things that I do make me think not of you. 'Cause you got around. You got around that thing. Motels. Motels. You got around. Motels. You got around. Motels.
Thank you so much, Emily. Emily, as I said, you were supposed to play us out, but you know what they're doing? This is so mean. This is so mean. Because this is how we do the show, right? I say, will you play us out with one song? Then it comes back to me. I do a back announcement. and we all go home. It's like a happy ending. But Dolly, JJ, and Adam Gaynor are messing with our heads because
Oh, no.
there's this thread that's come up in the private chat, and Adam is just cracking us up with everything he's saying.
I know.
about-
I've been keeping track of that and us, and for a while I was also live streaming on my Instagram, so I'm just like ADDing trying to follow all the commentary.
Oh my God!
That's
So
why I
so
have spaced on like 3 lyrics in the set.
so I say, you know, I want to say like for the folks at home, but you know, we're all folks at home at this point.
It's
I
true.
might
We're
I
all
might as well
folks at
share.
home.
So Adam basically said, you know, when I said I want to request motels, Adam was like, Freebird, ask her to play Freebird. And so I'm like,
He has
well,
more faith in my back catalog knowledge or cover song knowledge than I do.
oh my God. So I was like, look,
Now, if you
Adam,
ask me to sing parts of Hamilton, I probably know that very well because my daughter's obsessed with it, and that's all we listen to right now.
Oh, so you could probably play us To Make You Feel My Love or something, right? Or one of those great tunes from Hamilton. You know, so he was like, do it. And I was like, no, I can't, because we don't cut back to Emily. We just cut back to me. And so then I'm out, right? So then...
What was the Firebird comment? I thought that was something to do with like, I don't know, looks or whatever, but I don't know.
No, I think it was Freebird.
Oh, Freebird.
Freebird. Okay. So he was like, I dare
Firebird.
you.
Who drives a
dare you.
Firebird these
He was
days?
like, Adam Gaynor wants to hear Freebird. Well, you know, and also we're all demanding, after what he's putting us through now, we're all getting Edgar Pingleton dolls if we do
Yes! Awesome.
not. Well, he said that
Eliza and Peggy. That one was for Adam.
well, he's saying that he never promised it, but I think there's enough of us now, and I think he's put us through so much pain with his comments. Well, he's also extremely entertaining. We should cut back to Adam. If Adam is still there, because he told me that he's in his trunks and his tank top. If he's still there, we should cut back.
You can cut back. And I'll be,
I think he's smart.
Not throwing away my
Oh my God, it's happening.
I'm in the kitchen. I'm making soy sauce. I'm making soy sauce. That's all I'm eating for dinner is some fresh soy sauce.
So we got Adam with soy sauce, and we got Emily Zuzik not throwing away my shot from. This is a moment that
Can
is
I do this for
completely.
Emily, great. Good job, Em. Really nice.
Thank
really
you,
good.
Adam. It was great, like sharing virtually and talking soy sauce right now. You
So
know.
awesome. I'm really proud of you. You have a beautiful voice. Really good
Thank
job.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the beautiful thing about this is it's live, so no matter what happens, we can't cut it out.
Well, we just eventually say like, you know, shut the lid on the laptop and then go like,
Yeah.
Well,
pour a
I'm
glass of
thinking, you
rosé.
know, it's kind of fun because I think Adam, part of the comments, we got to read all these comments later on because they go on. And I think Adam was talking about like, yay, bald children. So like he's advocating that you shave your daughter's head, Emily.
But we already did side shaves. That's the thing. Like we both already have side shaves. And so I can't talk her in. I did even a back shave, but then she grew the dreadlock and I had to cut the dreadlock out.
When you talked about when slicing the back of a dreadlock out, I'm saying, oh my God, I'm a big fan of baldchildren.org. So that was like where I was trying to be supportive of the family. That's
I thought maybe you were a parent simpatico who was always like, oh yeah, I had to cut a dreadlock out of my son's hair after he put like slime in it or whatever. Because these are the stories that we share over.
I have a custody poodle. That's as much as I get, and I haven't had her since the quarantine, so I got to get the custody poodle back next month.
Oh, well, poodles are very sweet.
Yeah,
So
not bad. Not
you got to
bad.
enjoy that.
Not like a human child, but it's okay. It's okay.
They take up less space in the bed. I have a kid and a dog in my bed right
Yeah,
now.
it's a lot. It's a lot. A menagerie.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, and soon we're gonna have an Edgar Pinkleton in our beds also, and that's going to be
Yeah.
exciting.
I'm excited to give everyone a free Edgar, and I'm gonna have to get another job, so that's no big deal. I'm not worried about it.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
you'll be fine.
Edgar
You'll
is
be fine.
adorable, and I can't
Well-
wait to see it.
Well, we
Oh,
want to
okay.
support it because Adam, we know that you're involved in charities and you do so many great things. Isn't there a Canadian charity that you're involved in also?
I don't know. I've done so much stuff with different people from Rock Against Cancer, Art of Elysium.
Yep.
I did a little bit of the Special Olympics for a while.
Wow.
I don't know. Oh, in Canada, I don't know if that's Artists Against Racism, which is where they've had a big resurgence since all the civil unrest in the country and all the problems with our communities. So yeah, so they've been really great. I've been talking to them again about getting involved. So it's been great. I mean,
It is Artists Against Racism, and obviously very apt at this time now
Yeah.
that, you know, we're aware of this problem again, and it's rearing its ugly head to the surface. And I gotta say, Adam, you know, when I said we have to have you back, I didn't mean like in 15 minutes.
I was stalking your show in the kitchen. I had everything muted except for I realized the mic wasn't muted. So I'm like, man, it's like doing the Today Show and you go to take a pee and you leave your power pack on with your mic.
Right.
And you're like, what is going on? They can hear. It's rookie pop star 101, which I'm not. I was like, not pop star, so yeah.
It's the same way on commercial sets.
Yeah.
That is so cool. So you're doing percussion for Emily, like in your kitchen with all the pots and pans and your soy sauce.
I had like, if you could, I don't know if the production, when I had my mic off, I had my camera on for every like 1 minute. I would show a thing of Edgar dancing. I had a lighter out for you during one. I don't know.
Wow.
And everybody saw what was going on.
That makes my heart fly.
I was having a party for you. It was fun.
It's a party in your house. Oh my God, that's so much fun. Well, look, this is so much fun. I love the extemporaneous whole feel of this vibe, and I thank you guys both. You were wonderful, wonderful guests, both separate and together.
Our pleasure. Yeah,
and you know, Emily, work on that Freebird so we can do this again.
God. Oh God! I always said that because you're like, can we think of anything to play? And I had to do the prototypical yelling of Freebird, which is like the anti. You're not.
I know.
Well, I can give you a taste of like what was my closer from the rock cover band.
Well, if Owen lets you play it out, play it out.
I don't play it. I just sang in that band. I wore crazy outfits and sang.
I'm absolutely down. Emily, take it away.
I went to a party last Saturday night. I didn't get laid. I got in a fight. It ain't no big thing.
Wow, you sound just like Christy. That's pretty good. That's like
That's Lita, baby.
Lita Ford.
You gotta get that like big kick up there too.
Well, very, very versatile. I mean, when you were saying earlier that you said that you sound too much like Chrissy Hines, it's like, that's a complaint? Like, if you can sound like her, like, that is a gift. It's funny, my Freebird is Danny Boy. So like people say, you know, when I do these gigs with these like Irish gigs and stuff around St. Patrick's Day, as soon as somebody yells out Danny Boy, I'm like, no, I can't. It's just, please. But then you have to do it. It's just like if you're in a rock band and they ask for Freebird, but now it's kind of become a joke, you know.
Yeah.
They ask for Freebird, give them Hamilton. That'll shut them up.
We pushed the envelope and wound up doing Sweet Home Alabama in Alabama a bunch of times. And that's like, you know, you don't know if they're going to love it or if they're going to hate it. But at the point where we were doing it, it was good. So, but it's scary.
Well, why the hell not, right? It's something special for them.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, anyway, speaking of sweet home, can you just go home? Oh, you're already home. I think, as they used to say in the pubs when they were trying to close, have you no homes to go to, but you're already at home. So this could go on forever.
I know, but I have to go because I have to really like get the dog sled of bedtime in motion.
And Emily, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your calling it right now. Thank you.
No problem. It was lovely spending some time with you both.
Well, it's just been fantastic. I've just had so much fun. And thank you both for being such wonderful guests. We will see you both again soon, I hope.
Great job, team.
Thank you.
You too, brother. Talk soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. And that was a surprise appearance by Emily Zuzik and Adam Gaynor together. And wow, what a great team. What great guests. And Emily, thank you so much, you know, for that segment, chatting with us, for entertaining us with your music this evening. And, you know, if you want to hear more from Emily Zuzik, which I'm sure you do, we've heard a little extra tonight. That was an added bonus, also along with Adam Gaynor. Check out emilyzuzik.com. You can keep track of her upcoming shows and find out more about her music, including details of her new album that's coming out next month. Also, as an added bonus, and we didn't talk about this tonight, but there are some TV commercials that Emily has starred in over the years, and so you can check those out on her website too. And hopefully there'll be a photo of Edgar Pingleton that I'm going to put on my website as soon as I get mine, and Emily may have it on hers too. And maybe we'll have a reunion of our Edgar Pingletons. But don't forget to subscribe to Adam's YouTube channel for a chance. That's youtube.com/Creationville for a chance to win the Edgar Pingleton, your very own Edgar Pingleton. So Edgar Pingleton. And of course, you can check out Emily on social media at Emily Zuzik, and she's also performing with Ted Russell Kamp this Friday, July 24th at Desert Valley House Concerts. It's a virtual show. Check out our website for that. And it doubles as Ted Russell Camp's album release party for the record Down in the Den. And also Down in the Den is where Emily, as she told us earlier, recorded much of her album Torch and Trouble, which will be coming out very soon. And as we said before, all tips are appreciated. They support our musical artists and the hardworking team involved in putting on this show each week. So feel free to contribute if you feel the urge. But as always, we're most grateful, above all, that you took the time to be with us this evening and that you tuned in. And just to let you know about some upcoming shows, on Monday, July 27th, 7 p.m., Songs and Sit-Downs is back again. That's next week, and it's going to be another great show. We have Weird Paul. Now, Weird Paul, if you haven't heard of Weird Paul, I'm almost surprised because he's got so many YouTube subscribers. There's a feature-length documentary about him out on Amazon that you can check out, and he's one of the first content creators. Actually, he's been credited as being the first content creator because he's been doing it since back in the 80s. And a Weird Paul haircut is actually in the Urban Dictionary as his haircut. Speaking of haircuts, as we were talking tonight, and he is just such a great character. He's just going to be so much fun to talk to. And then we have the Scooches, a duo from the East Coast that are also just phenomenal. It's a couple, and I've seen them live, and they're just wonderful. So we're delighted that we're going to have them on the show next week. Then Thursday, July 30th at 7 p.m., the Roadhouse series presents, and the theme is Songs of Freedom and Unity. We have some great musicians doing covers and original songs, all in that theme. So do check back with us on Thursday, July 30th at 7 p.m. for that. It's really going to be great. On Sunday, August 2nd at 10 a.m., it's going to be 10 at 10 with Matt Bunson. He's going to be doing a bunch of covers, specifically pop hits from 1967 to 73. So I don't know if he's going to do all the pop hits from that era. If he does, it could take a long time, or maybe it really is 10 at 10 for an hour or so. So come back and check that out at facebook.com/Divine Rebel Music. And then Monday, August 3rd, 2 weeks from tonight, we'll have Songs and Sit-Downs again, and which features Timmery. Timmery is an all-round artist, fashion, graphic, jewelry designer, and a musical artist. So it's just going to be great. Great person of interest that we're going to talk to. And we also have Billy Kennedy, who's an Irish singer-songwriter. We're going to be going all the way to Ireland live, and he assures us that he's going to be up in the middle of the night, his time, at like 3 or 4 in the morning, to talk to us live from his home in Crosshaven, a beautiful beach town in County Cork. And he's got some great songs, great singer-songwriter, much in demand as a musician and producer over there. So we're just delighted that we're going to have him on the show in 2 weeks. And thank you so much, everybody involved in this show and who made this show possible. Thank you so much, Dolly and JJ, Jessica, and a big thank you to our very special guests, Adam Gaynor, and to our fabulous musical guest, Emily Zuzik, and to both of them together, who gave us that extra insight into their lives at the end of the show. Always a joy, and we hope to have them. And of course, a big thank you to you, our audience, for tuning in. We really appreciate your joining us this evening. We're going to leave you now with our video of the week. It's a song called Larry's Panic Attack, written and performed by the always entertaining and wonderfully expressive Win Wilson. The narrative of the song brings the listener on a compelling journey filled with great characters, including strippers, morticians, and as with Win Wilson's work, the performance is artfully executed with the kind of dramatic, tongue-in-cheek approach that Wendy has become famous for, or Win Wilson as we know her professionally. We're going to play that for you in just a moment, but before we do, we'd like to thank you again so much for being with us tonight. We look forward to seeing you again next Monday with another episode of Songs and Sit-Downs. Till then, stay safe and be kind. This is Larry's Panic Attack by Win Wilson.
Larry's panic attack started on April 15th, 1983, when he saw this headline: Headless Body in Topless Bar. That's a damn good headline. The lady mortician was forced to decapitate the prey of a crazy drunk gunman, hoping to get away. He grabbed her purse, her card would say, "At your service when you need it." He needed a mortician that day. A lady mortician, as was her tradition, stopped in the bar for a drink. Though the bar may be topless, the drinks were a lot less. She needed some time to think. Larry, the jealous boyfriend of a stripper at La Ronda, got in his car and drove to his destination. He stormed in drunk as he fondled a 45 and no intention of decapitation. Shoot the owner dead in the head. The lady mortician, as was her tradition, sat in the booth in the back. She sipped gin and soda and a stripper named Rhoda ran by. Then she heard a crack. Larry, the jealous ex-boyfriend of a stripper we now know as Rhoda, grabbed some lady's purse and rifled through and saw the card. This woman is a professional. At your service when you need it. The lady mortician faced decomposition and a gun pointed into her side. Cut off the head, they won't know who is dead, and I'll take it to Vegas and hide. Headless body in topless bar. That's the greatest headline in my fucking career.